you were describing a past life that you experienced when you were doing the past life regression audios that I'd sent out. So you were listening to that and going into your own past life, and as you did that, you heard your name being called out, and you were Josiah, and you were it was in the time of Jesus, and you were in the background hearing Jesus speak, and he called you forth, and he said to you, what were the words?
Go and sin no more.
Go and sin no more. And when he said that, you had an immediate reaction, and what was that?
A feeling of panic, a feeling of shame, and because I had felt myself and I felt strong and confident, but I didn't feel warped.
Okay.
When I felt myself, and I was like, what did I do? What am I guilty of?
Yeah.
What?
So there was shame and guilt, and what did I do, and that panic in your body.
It must be a mistake, and it's just everything that's in panic.
Yeah. What did I do? So searching for that. What did I do? That panic. Where do you feel that in your body when you tune into that? Chest.
And my heart.
Heart. Even though I've got all this panic in my heart.
Even though I have all this panic in my heart.
This guilt, this shame.
This guilt, this shame.
What have I done wrong?
What have I done wrong?
It must have been me.
It must have been me.
Jesus said, go and sin no more.
Jesus said, go and sin no more.
I must have done something terrible.
I must have done something terrible.
I must be a sinner.
I must be a sinner.
What have I done?
What have I done?
All this guilt.
All this guilt.
All this shame.
All this shame.
He called me up in front of everyone.
He called me up in front of everyone.
And said, Josiah, go and sin no more.
He called me up and said, Josiah, go and sin no more.
And I still have that panic trapped in my heart.
And I still have that pain trapped in my heart.
And I want to release it and let it go.
I want to release it and let it go.
All the way back to its origin.
All the way back to its origin.
When Josiah first heard those words.
When Josiah first heard those words.
Go and sin no more.
Go and sin no more.
I want to release.
I want to release.
All the fear and panic.
All the fear and panic.
That panic in my ears.
That panic.
Panic in my ears.
The panic in my ears.
When my ears heard.
When my ears heard.
Go and sin no more.
Go and sin no more.
No wonder I have a hearing problem.
No wonder I have a hearing problem.
All that panic.
All that panic.
When my ears heard.
When my ears heard.
Go and sin no more.
Go and sin no more.
All the panic in my heart.
All the panic in my heart.
Go and sin no more.
Go and sin no more.
What have I done?
What have I done?
All the guilt.
All the guilt.
All the shame.
All the shame.
Trapped in my heart.
Trapped in my heart.
What have I done? What have I done? I can still feel it trapped in my heart. When Jesus said, Josiah, go and sin no more.
And Jesus said, Josiah, go and sin no more.
And I can still feel it in my heart.
And I can still feel it in my heart.
And I instruct my Akash to release it now.
I instruct my Akash to release it now.
All the way back to its origin when I heard those words.
All the way back to its origin when I heard those words.
Releasing the guilt.
Releasing the guilt.
Releasing the shame.
Releasing the shame.
Releasing the wondering of what did I do?
Releasing the wonder of what did I do?
I want to release it all.
I want to release it all.
And I instruct my Akash to release it now.
And I instruct my Akash to release it.
It's safe for me to hear
It's safe to hear
as I release the shame and the guilt
as I relate to the shame and the guilt.
and release it all from my heart.
And release it all from my heart.
Releasing the shame now,
Releasing the shame now.
all the way back to Josiah,
All the way back to Josiah.
all the way back to all of my lives.
all the way back through all of my lives.
Into this one.
Into this one.
And out to the future.
And out to the future.
Releasing the guilt.
Releasing the guilt.
Releasing the shame.
Releasing the shame.
The panic.
The panic.
Releasing it from my heart.
Releasing it from my heart.
It's safe to hear again.
It's safe to hear again.
Releasing all the shame.
Releasing all the shame.
All the pain.
All the pain.
All the guilt.
All the guilt.
All the embarrassment.
All the embarrassment.
All the humiliation.
All the humiliation.
All the guilt.
All the guilt.
Releasing it and letting it go.
Releasing and letting it go.
All the way back to that life.
All the way back to that life.
And every time I felt guilt in this life,
And every time I felt guilty in this life,
I choose to release it and let it go from my Akash.
I choose to release it and let it go from my Akash.
Releasing the guilt.
Releasing the guilt.
Releasing the shame.
Releasing the shame.
From every time I ever felt it.
From every time I ever felt it.
I choose to feel peace. I choose to feel peace.
What?
I choose to feel peace.
Pink?
Peace. Peace. P-E-A-C-E. Is it my accent?
I thought you said pink. I
could be
choose to
pink.
feel peace.
What colour is peace for you?
Yes, I know. That's why I... Okay.
What is peace? What colour is it?
What color is peach? Now that I have pink in my mind, I can't see anything else. No, actually, I see peace as sort of like all colors.
Mhm.
Like I saw pink, I saw green, I saw blue, I just saw a lot of colors.
The colours of peace.
The colors of peace.
Asking my Akash
Asking my Akash
to send peace where there was once guilt.
to send peace when there was once guilt.
Dissolving the guilt
Dissolving the guilt
once and for all.
once and for
All the way back to Josiah.
all the way back to Josiah.
And every time I've ever experienced it,
And every time I've ever experienced it,
I choose to step through this lesson.
I choose to
Step through this
step
lesson.
through this lesson. I choose to step through this lesson.
Stepping through this lesson now.
I'm stepping through this lesson now.
Thanking Josiah
Thanking Josiah
for the lesson of releasing guilt.
for the lesson of releasing guilt.
I choose to feel peace.
I choose to feel peace.
So how does that feel now? So say it again. When you were Josiah,
When I was Josiah,
you went to the meeting where Jesus was.
I went to the meeting where Jesus was,
I was standing at the back,
standing at the back,
and he called my name,
and he called my name.
and he said,
He said, Josiah, go and send me.
doesn't seem to be much of a reaction around that anymore.
No, but the internal question was still, what did I do?
So there's no energetic reaction, there's just
No.
that conscious mind thought,
Yes.
what did I do? So is there any guilt around that, or there's just that searching?
There's still a little guilt that I don't understand.
Yeah, so that's not so much guilt, that's just I don't understand.
Okay, I don't
Alright.
understand.
So even though I don't understand,
Even though I don't understand
that teaching.
I don't understand that teaching.
There's a lot I don't understand with my human mind.
There's a lot I don't understand with my human mind.
That's why I'm here in lesson.
That's why I'm here in lesson.
I choose to be open to understanding.
I choose to be open to understanding.
that feeling and that question
That feeling and that question
of where did I sin?
of where did I see
Sin. Sin. Go and sin no more. Where did I
sin?
sin?
I'm sorry.
It's my accent.
Go and sin. Yes, of where did I sin?
Mm-hmm. That feeling of where did I sin?
The feeling of where did I sin?
I may never know,
I may never know,
but I'm never a perfect human being.
but I'm never a perfect human being.
And maybe that was all he was referring to.
And maybe that's all he was referring to.
Becoming godlike in my humanness.
Becoming godlike in my humanness.
I choose to release all my guilt.
I choose to release all of my guilt.
And that question,
And that question.
what did I do wrong?
And that question, what did I do wrong?
Releasing that feeling
Releasing that feeling.
that I did something wrong.
That I did something wrong.
Releasing the guilt.
Releasing the guilt.
Releasing that questioning mind.
Releasing that questioning mind.
What did I do wrong?
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 I was merely being human.
I was merely being human.
There's a lot that us humans do wrong
There's a lot that us humans do wrong
just by being human.
just by being human.
But is it wrong or is it learning?
Is it wrong or is it learning?
I'm a human learning my spiritual path,
I'm a human learning my spiritual path,
remembering my spiritual soul.
remembering my spiritual soul,
Releasing the guilt.
releasing the guilt.
I'm learning.
I'm learning.
I didn't do anything wrong.
I didn't do anything wrong.
I'm in the lesson of humanism.
I'm in the lesson of humanism.
And Jesus was just reminding me of that.
And Jesus was just reminding me of that.
Releasing the questioning
Releasing the question
and the feeling that I did something wrong.
and the feeling that I did something wrong.
How does that feel?
It's better.
Mm-hmm. And for me, I'm getting that the energy that he was saying to Josiah was, he was saying to everyone present, was go and sin no more, about releasing that hurting others with words or with anything, you know, of teaching about love rather than anything that wasn't love as being a sin.
And in my rational mind, I could say that it was just make choices in your life appropriately.
Exactly.
Just make choices. So I understand. I just could never get rid of the
because of the emotion.
feelings.
Yeah, the emotion and the feelings were
Clouded everything, and so that and I thought, well, I didn't even hear anything else that he said.
yeah.
I just went into panic mode,
Yep, fight or flight.
reactive mode.
Yep, and that's what Brian talks about is that drama,
Yeah.
survival mode stuff. That's what you were in.
And he talks about the reactive thing, and I do. And I know that I have reactive mode. That was part of what I had come to that I wanted to bring out. So it's like that lesson was all of it. I mean, guilt, shame, reaction, drama, just panic, and afraid to listen.
And you also said that your hearing was bad since when your husband died?
It was after he died, yes.
So that might be another session to work on.
Because I loved him very much. It was a very good marriage.
And which year was it? Is it?
It was 1991 when he died.
Yep, but which year?
Oh, ear.
Yeah, that's right.
You see,
Ear.
It's mostly my right,
Which is the masculine.
but also in my, and it's not distinguishing words easily, not so much how loud someone's speaking, but I don't distinguish the words. They just kind of run together.
And if there were some words that you didn't want to hear when your husband was dying, what would they be?
If there were words I didn't want to hear after he was gone. See, nothing even comes. Words what I would not want to hear after he was gone.
Or as he was dying?
I'm blocked there.
Even though I'm blocked there,
Even though I'm blocked there,
I don't know what I didn't want to hear.
I don't know what I didn't want to hear.
And my right ear doesn't want to hear,
And my right ear doesn't want to hear,
which represents the masculine.
which represents the masculine.
I wonder what masculine voice
I wonder what masculine voice
I don't want to hear,
I don't want to hear,
relating to the death of my husband.
relating to the death of my husband.
So tell me about how your husband died. Was it sudden?
No, he actually didn't have a well body his whole life, but it was heart failure eventually.
And were you did a doctor say something about a diagnosis at any stage?
He came home to die because he was in the hospital, but they knew that he wouldn't make it, so he came home to die. So.
And was there a time when he was dying that you heard a sound that you didn't want to hear? Or the words that he's coming home to die, or...
The sound was him throwing up, and it was blood, and it was the night before he died.
Yep, I can still hear that. And I want to release the sound of it.
I can still hear it. Jesus.
Yep.
And I heard his last breath.
Hearing the sound of his last breath. I can still hear the sound of his last breath.
I can still hear the sound of his last breath.
And I didn't want to hear that. So I switched off that sound.
I switched off that sound.
So I could never hear something as bad as that again.
So I can never hear anything as bad as that again.
Hearing his last breath.
Hearing his last breath.
As I bring in his soul right now. Releasing the trauma.
Releasing the trauma.
Releasing the sadness.
Releasing the sadness.
Bringing the energy of his soul in right now.
What?
Bringing the energy of his soul in right now.
The energy of his soul.
Standing behind you. Standing behind you. Bringing in his energy. Feeling the energy of him standing behind you.
Feeling the energy standing behind me.
Whispering something beautiful into my right ear.
You brought something beautiful into my
A message from his soul to yours.
A message from his soul to mine.
Unblocking the trauma. Releasing the trauma of his last breath. I choose to hear choose to hear. That's shifted some energy.
I know, he was a very joyful person.
I choose to hear his
To
laughter
hear his laughter.
as he brings the energy of laughter into my right ear.
As he brings the energy of laughter into my right ear.
I can hear his laughter.
I can hear his laughter.
He was such a joyful man.
He was such a joyful man.
And that's what he wants me to feel.
And that's what he wants me to do.
And to hear.
And to hear.
Hearing the joy of his laughter.
Hearing the joy of his laughter.
Instead of his last breath.
Instead of his last breath.
He's angry at me for remembering that.
In his playful way, he's angry at me remembering that.
Instead of his laughter.
Instead of his laughter.
I choose to remember his laughter.
I choose to remember his laughter.
And feel his playful joyness.
And feel his playful joyness.
Releasing the sadness.
Releasing the sadness.
That blocks my connection to him.
That blocks my connection to him.
He wants to connect with his joyful playness.
He wants to connect with his joyful playfulness.
And I've been blocking it.
And I've been blocking it.
By focusing on his last breath.
By focusing on his last breath.
And the sound of him throwing up.
Oh, God.
Instead of joy.
And the sound of him throwing up instead of joy.
And laughter.
And laughter.
I choose to feel his connection.
I choose to feel his connection.
His love.
His love.
Even when I remember seeing him throwing up.
Even when I remember seeing him throwing up.
And taking his last breath.
And taking his last breath.
And I feel closer to him than I've ever felt.
And I feel closer to him than I've ever felt.
When I connect with his joy.
When I connect with his joy.
And release the blocking in my right ear.
And release the blocking in my right ear.
Seeing him smile.
Seeing him smile.
Hearing his laughter.
Hearing his laughter.
Saying, yeah, it's about bloody time.
Yeah, it's about bloody time.
It's safe for me to hear.
It's safe for me to hear.
As I release all my fear and sadness.
So I relate all my fear and sadness.
It's time to release it.
It's time to release it.
And connect to him even more.
And connect with him even more.
So I can feel joy in my life.
So I can feel joy in my life.
His joyful laughter.
His joyful laughter.
Mm-hmm. So can you hear his joyful laughter?
Oh, he had the most booming voice, and I could hear him in any room in the house laughing at something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was a lovely, wonderful.
Mm-hmm. And how does your body vibrate when you remember hearing his joyful laughter from anywhere in the house?
I would start laughing.
Exactly. Right.
Enjoying it so much.
Mm-hmm. And so when you can hear his joyful laughter from anywhere in the house and you're laughing and you're still picturing him throwing up blood the night before he left.
I know, and hearing his last breath and feeling guilty because I was laying on the couch and he was sitting in a chair and he had the hiccups. I forgot to tell you. That's the other part.
Mm-hmm.
He had the hiccups and he couldn't get rid of them. And I knew that it was imminent, you know, his leaving. And the hiccups stopped and I was laying on the couch and I looked at him and I I'm so glad he's peaceful. And I heard that last breath, but I didn't, in my conscious mind, to think that. So when I got up at 6 o'clock, I had to pee really bad, and I didn't want to get him awake. I didn't want to get up, but I did, and I knew he was gone. So yeah, that last breath.
I think you'll be able to hear things a lot easier now, because that was blocking on, that was the male side.
Yes, the right side.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
You'll be able to hear his joyful laughter and connect with him even more now.
I believe that. I hadn't realized about the blocking until you said that. That, you know, that he has felt that I blocked him also. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, because you were trapped in your own trauma of it.
Yeah. And I didn't know I was trapped in the trauma of it. Although when I told people, I would say I heard his last breath. So I did at some level, but I didn't hear what I was saying. The theme. That's the theme.